Helpful Counselors, it's Heather with another video to show you my Dollar Tree finds. I went a little crazy, as I had mentioned in my previous videos. If you haven't seen those, be sure to check them out. The main reason why I created this series of videos is to help out new school counselors, new clinicians, or maybe even some of us old school counselors who got a new job. Maybe your office doesn't have the supplies that it needs and you have a tight budget. Totally relate. I cover 3 offices, 1,500 students. I don't have the money to make it look all glitz and glam. Be sure to check out my video about using dollar store finds to decorate your office. This video is going to focus on dollar store finds that you can use during individual counseling, group counseling, and even your guidance lessons or classroom presentations. One thing that I totally believe in is that play is the international language of all children. There's tons of research about how children and their communication skills they're learning. They don't have that, but they are able to express so much and work through so much through the power of play. Now, a little bit of background about me, some of you may know, may not know if you read my blog, is I got my start in 1998 working with at-risk youth in inner city Flint. I went to various housing projects, I went to various Flint schools, and I conducted social skills groups that focused on bettering the community, bettering themselves, setting goals, problem solving. But as a newbie, I didn't realize using a large age span, my groups were 7 to 14. Yikes! How do you keep 7 to 14-year-olds all engaged and picking up on the lesson? So part of trying to figure that out, I started venturing into using various prompts to get conversations going, to get hands-on engagement, to basically get my point across or to get the lesson across and to allow children to be children. So many of our kids don't have that opportunity because they're facing insurmountable challenges or a variety of different things where maybe they don't have access to some of these materials. The great thing about getting these at the dollar store is that they're $1. So maybe our kids can go out and grab some of this, or maybe their parents can afford one of their favorites. So I'm just gonna briefly go over, or try to briefly go over, my dollar store finds. I think it might be the most helpful if I break down how to actually use this stuff into separate videos, so this doesn't get too long and you can get what you need out of it and pick the different ones. So I'm going to actually go through several different types of resources that you can use in play therapy. Now, how did I become familiar with play therapy as a school counselor? Well, I was also a clinician. So after I worked with my at-risk kids in 1998 and 2000, once I graduated from the University of Michigan with an undergrad in psychology, I got a job at Whaley Children's Center. My kids were, they were residential kids. They were also foster care kids, going through the adoption process, dealing with a lot of really tough stuff. To sit down with a child or a teen and to be able to just hash out a conversation. So tell me what you did today. So tell me what you think about that, or how do you feel about that, or what did you do before that helped with that, is great for kids that can communicate and self-reflect. A lot of my students, a lot of my kids just don't have those skills developed yet. So using some of these prompts and some of these activities really increase that engagement, allow them to take safe risks and to be able to learn through that process. As I went through at Whaley, I took a lot of professional development in play therapy. I'm over 100 hours of professional development in play therapy. I love play therapy. It allows me to get out some of my silliness along with kids. It allows me to build rapport with kids. It allows me to have that connection and to show that I can be human and let down my guard, and that I'm not this big scary adult that's going to judge them, because there's so much that you can do and choose that can appeal to them. So one thing that I actually bought for my son's birthday is coming up, and I wanted to surprise him with a luau sort of theme. But in thinking about this post, I thought it was also something that I could share. So something I might do is, if a student came to see me, I might grab this and put this on, and I might say, you know what, I want to go on a vacation to Hawaii because, and then I'll fill this in, and then I'll grab another one and I'll ask them something about, if you were in Hawaii, what's something you would want to do, just to kind of get conversations going. Or I might ask them, where in the world would you want to go if you could go anywhere, and why is that? And having something just to hand on, something tangible, something that they can wear and lets their guard down, fabulous. It really does help with that. Okay, I promised that I wasn't going to go too much into everything. I want to go over, I have lots and lots of goodies. I do want to share that I plan on doing a giveaway on my blog with all of this fabulous stuff. Dollar Tree did not want me to do a video in their store, so I purchased this stuff to share with you, and truth be told, I have a lot of it. So over the course of 10 years, you tend to accumulate, but let me go over this. Okay. So one thing that I absolutely love at the dollar store, and I learned this from my fabulous mentor that I had, I've mentioned her in my other videos, is to have friendship flowers. And what this does is, when students are talking, usually in a group, about friendship issues, you have to hold the friendship flower in order to be talking. One thing I really like about this is, check it. They got 3 flowers. I have 3 offices. That's like 30 cents a piece. Bonus. You just cut it at the end. Fabulous to go. I leave these on my bookcase to incite conversation. Kids might ask me, and I talk to them about the importance of communication and some of those skills. Great prompt. Oh, I forgot. I told you I was a talker. So let me just go over some of the materials I got before. Okay. I shared these guys about talking and reframing in my other video. Love them. They were actually at the Dollar General. One thing that I really have found a great response to was when my kids are dealing with grief, and you can find these for $1 at the Dollar Tree or maybe a local dollar store. I've ordered them before. They were a little bit more than $1. I ordered a dozen at a time from some online company ages ago. I got a couple dozen. They lasted me for years. But when someone loses a parent or a sibling or sometimes even a pet and they're just so distraught, I give them a fuzzy friend that they can have. And this one is actually titled Fuzzy Friend, and that's what I use. I try to get them where they're soft and squishy, and they also fold up well, and I've had my big 5th graders, boys, tuck them into their hoodies so other people can't see, but it's really a comforting thing. Okay. Another thing that the Dollar Tree is great for is different sized balls that you can use. There's a lot of different things you can do with these. I'll go into them in more detail. Another thing kind of alongside the balls, please do not give your student, or heads up, do not give your student a big old bouncy ball in your office unless you want them to whip it around and cause all kinds of havoc. Set yourself up for success. So one thing that they can use in their hands is a hacky sack. It doesn't bounce. It actually has a crunch to it to help with the sensory, and it's soft. So if you can knit or crochet, you can make your own, or just go to the dollar store. My Dollar Tree has a ton of these guys. They're just squishy little fidgets that they can have. I try to get non-toy fidgets for the classroom, but in my office it's a-okay. And then they can also use these in a bunch of ways, but I'll go over that. Who doesn't want to have the world in their hands? This is a stress ball. Perfect. One more thing that I found on my Dollar Tree is this little guy, another fuzzy friend. I would not pick something this colorful to give to a kiddo dealing with grief. Maybe you let them pick from your fuzzy friends and that would be okay, but I wouldn't necessarily do something in a happy-go-lucky color. But if a kiddo needs something to hang on to, I'll go over a little bit more in that in a later video. Okay, one thing that I mentioned in a previous video about office supplies was these handy dandy erasers. Now, I don't let kids have kids use these erasers to actually erase something. I might give them a smaller eraser, those pink ones that sort of resemble this. I might have them write down my mistakes on it, and then they can actually use that one. These are great prompts to get kids talking, especially older kids that might not gravitate to some of these other things. Great prompt to get things talking, only $1. Okay, another thing I got at the Dollar Tree is this bag of rocks. You might wonder, what's up with a bag of rocks? Bag of rocks has all different kinds of shapes and sizes, just like us. So there's tons of conversations you can have. I also use these rocks as a way to help kids that have school anxiety, and it's a worry stone, and I'll go into that in more detail as well. Okay, so another Dollar Tree find that I found, and I told you I went kind of crazy, are these really cool dinosaur erasers. What I love about these is that kids can grab them. They're small. If you're a traveling counselor and you're working out of a basket, they don't take up much room. They can incite a lot of conversation. This dinosaur can have a conversation with this dinosaur. I'll go into a little bit more of that later. But one other cool thing is that they stand up on their own. You can use them in a prize box, tons of different ways to slice and dice that, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. One other fidget that I was able to pick up is a slinky. Now these slinkies are $1, so handle with care. If something happens to it, you can go get another one. But as long as the student's talking, I'm okay if they're doing this, right? And you might even talk about how life gets kind of wonky sometimes, and it's not always a straight line, right? So lots of things that you can do with this. So another thing that I found that you can use to elicit some conversations, I have a set of coping skill cards in my Teacher Pay Teacher store. What I like to do with some of these binder clips is have my kids actually clip together the coping skills or the affirmations that they're going to use. Clip together the ones that don't make sense to them or they don't feel comfortable using. So a lot of ways you can get kids to be interactive and self-reflective. Okay, another set of erasers. Put them in your prize bin, or put them in a brown paper sack. Have a student draw one out. For these, there's a bunch of different kinds. There's planes and zeppelins, astronauts, aliens. You can come up and be creative with a list of, if you could go on a hot air balloon ride, who would you go with, right? If you could travel or explore, what would you do? The astronaut, what kind of job would you like to do? What would it be like in space? Would it be scary? Why would it be scary? Lots of different things that you can do to slice and dice this. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, now, well, one more ball that I have. I'm going to go into actually how to use this in a social skills group outside on the playground. I don't know if you use your social skills groups actually outside. It's called In the Milieu, where they're actually practicing skills in the environment that they need it. So having a variety of balls can be a variety of games. So that is perfect there. Who couldn't use some cheering on? If my kids have a celebration, they can cheer, I can cheer. Take it in the hallway, cheer, it's Monday, whatever it is. It's a great way to flip it around and to recycle some attitudes, right? Along those lines is, who couldn't use a hand or a round of applause, right? Using these out, getting kids to just grab them, use them and say, what would you applaud yourself about? Or what could you applaud a family member about? Tons of ways to use this. Another sort of thing that you can use now, the glow part isn't gonna stay. We all knew that, right? But it's a wand with a smiley face on it. As a counselor, you can't beat it too much. I would probably also on the back of it, and I haven't opened this up because I want to use this as part of my giveaway, is I would probably on the back of it too have it be blank and let kids use a dry erase marker to be able to put on how they're feeling. Sometimes we have to put on a smiley face for some people, but inside we have like a flip-flop feeling where we feel other ways. We don't always feel one way at a time. Lots of ways to use this, and I can go into that a little bit more later. Okay, so I am the sticker queen. Okay, I have boxes and boxes of stickers. I can't pass up stickers. Here's some more stickers. Love to use these rainbow heart stickers. I've actually seen on some Facebook groups where counselors are reaching out and teachers are reaching out to the LGBT community where they put these rainbow stickers right on their badge to let them know that they're a safe person to go to. I don't personally use that at the elementary level. What I do when I use this is I might give one of my students or a group of things where they can have a heart for every positive thing that they've done or for things that make them feel good. Same way with these. You get a heart, you get a smiley face sticker for things that make you feel good, or you can make other people feel good. Okay, minions. I have a ton of rascals, okay? So we like to have some fun. What do minions do that might not be the best thing? What could they do to get along with each other, right? And there's even those purple minions. The stickers don't come with those, but you can certainly use that to further conversations. Okay. I also got some art supplies to use in the counseling office and to once again increase engagement. So earlier I talked about using the worry stones for kids that have some school anxiety, or maybe they have anxiety about something else and it's not even at the beginning of the school. Another thing that I love at the Dollar Tree are googly eyes. Googly eyes are a must when you're creating things. It's a fun way to add a little bit of whimsy to increase that sense of, you know, I am a kid. They also have these very bright pom-poms that you can use, and glue one of these googly eyes right onto a pom-pom and you have a furry friend that you can tuck away. You can use these for a lot of different things. I can go into that later. If you want to hear about that, go ahead and put a comment. Anything that you see that I am sharing and you would like to know more about or how you can use it, or if you use any of these things yourself, please share it in the comments. I'm always looking for new ways to reach kids and to add a little bit more fun into what we're doing. So that's something that you can do. Another thing you can do to welcome back students, if you have a window, I do have one in my door. I cover on the side that's into my office so you can't peek in, but I still have window. The Dollar Tree has these window markers that you can use to decorate those windows, to share a message, maybe a quote. Great way to go. And one other thing I found that was new in my Dollar Tree are these profiling, making the mugshot. What I love about this is that some girls will, but a lot of my boys would be drawn right to this. If I left this out on top of my bookshelf or in my area where I have my other items, this is gonna elicit conversations. I can use this to talk about what our faces look like when we're feeling things, what our faces look like when we're talking, and how our tone of voice. Lots of different ways that you can use this. You don't always have to use what's included. Let them be their own designer of different feeling faces. Great way to start conversations, especially with those upper elementary students or maybe even middle schoolers or some high schoolers. I would use this in my special ed class with my older kids just to talk about character education and to talk about how people can perceive us and those kinds of things. Okay. One huge hit that I have, or another huge hit that I have with my kids, is to make these charms. And I found hearts and I found stars. So this is a great individual or group activity where you can have kids add hearts or stars to their bracelet or necklace for different things that describe them. I will go into that in further detail. If you have a similar craft, please share it in the comments. I love these sort of things, make and takes where kids can take it and wear it and talk to their parents about it and just have a memento of conversations that you have had or lessons that they have learned. Okay, another great thing. So one of the most popular posts on my blog are my posts that have to do with the movie Inside Out. Lots of kids have watched it. There are lots of lessons. I have one blog post that has 20 counseling themes that you can find in Inside Out, along with videos, short snippets that you can share with your kids. There are a lot of different things that you can do. Lots of stuff all over the internet too with ideas. My dollar store actually had this workbook or coloring book, workbook, what have you. There's lots of different activities in it. On the coloring pages, I thought what was unique on this is on the coloring pages, they actually have it interactive. So if you have an Apple iPad or an Apple phone, you can snap this and get a 3D image on it. Sounds pretty cool. I haven't used it, but it's definitely something to try out. Another thing that I found in the coloring book section of my Dollar Tree are doodling books, of coloring books that have different mandalas. It can have all kinds. They had animal ones, sea life ones, geometric ones, wide variety of $1. These usually go for about $5 or $6 at Barnes and Noble or even Amazon. These pages are actually fairly sturdy and they're not grayed out like some of the coloring books in the Dollar Tree. And there's actually perforated edges. There's coloring page only on one side, so you can use markers. It doesn't bleed through. Perfect. So those are some of, I'm just checking to make sure I got all of them. Those are some of the finds. Oh, one more thing I want to share. Okay, when you are looking at getting some material, regular Play-Doh and just clay, modeling clay that doesn't dry out, regular Play-Doh is the way to go. Do not buy discounted Play-Doh. It will not last. Honestly, it's nasty. I've had cans of Play-Doh for years. Just make sure the top stays on and you're good to go. It's definitely an investment. I just bought this to share with you. It's actually smaller than what you can find at other retail stores, and typically a 4-pack costs around $4, so it's $1 a piece, and you get a little more than what you can find at the dollar store. So please share with me in comments what dollar store finds you have, what sorts of activities you like to do that are playful and engaging with your students. I'd love to hear that. Check out my Facebook page, my blog, and my Helpful Counselor group to find out more information and to be able to connect with other counselors. Until next time, take care.